Good evening. Welcome. Appreciate everybody being here this evening. At this time, I will call meeting number 5346 for the Dodge City Commission to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Daniel Pope absent. Vice Mayor Michael Burns.
Here.
Commissioner Rick Sowers.
Here.
And Commissioner Chuck Taylor is absent. Commissioner Jeff Reiner.
Here.
At this time, I would ask everyone to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Next item on our agenda this evening is the approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion to approve or any changes?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. All opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Next item on the agenda this evening is a public hearing. Public hearing is an opportunity for us to talk a little bit about a project and then hear community input before we take action on the item. And so at this time, we're going to have a public hearing on the Community Development Block Grant funding, and we'll have Daniel Cecil address the commission.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight we're hosting this public hearing in response to the Community Development Block Grant application that we are submitting for a potential splash pad project in Thoreau Park. You may recall that we had a public hearing for this project back on May 18th. As staff was finishing the application and reviewing information with the CDBG staff from Department of Commerce, we were notified that we needed to reissue the public hearing because our notice listed out the cost amount to not to exceed, and they wanted an exact figure. So we have that exact figure, and in response to that, we have to have another public hearing to make sure the public is aware as to what those exact numbers are. So we'll do that tonight, and then on Monday, August 3rd, once we've given the public the opportunity to provide us feedback and comment, we will be bringing back resolutions 2026-11 and 12 to you for your approval to get that exact number in those resolutions as well. The estimated project cost is $1,998,239. CDBG grant request is $1,338,420 for the project, and the city's match is $659,818.39. This is actually a 33.02% match because we are trying to provide a better local match to get more points when the evaluation review process is done on our application. So we are looking at creating a higher match. You can see just based off of those numbers there, that's kind of what we're looking at as far as cost and that for what we would need to be all in on the project. A little bit of information about it. This is a large community facility grant through the CDBG. This project should primarily serve low to moderate income individuals and households in the area that's being placed. We are looking at the east side of Dodge City. This is a growing area for Dodge City right now. This would be located closer to HUD low-income housing, as well as the new Comanche Walking Trail extension and Arrowhead West over in that area. Next. You can see a timeline here of things that we've kind of went through for this project in the past. We started back in September of 2025. Staff did getting letters out, surveys out, making sure people in that neighborhood, in that area that fell within our use zone were aware of the project, and then also getting the surveys back for the CDBG requirements. In October, we held a block party over in that area to help make them aware. We cooked hamburgers, hot dogs, had some potential concepts out there for them. They were able to see all of that and provide us feedback at that time. And then the Park and Recreation Advisory Board also provided their recommendation to move forward with this grant application. In 2026, staff attended the Spring Fling event at Village Square Mall. as well as the Beeson School informational night to make sure they were aware of this, just other opportunities for us to get the word out to the public, and then public hearing tonight for this to be able to keep things moving forward. Next. This is a aerial overview of what the potential project could look like. This is in the northwest corner of Thorough Park. That's the intersection of Avenue L and Division, and it gives you a little bit of reference of place. You can see there overhead we have the splash pad that's about 1,300 square feet, similar in size to what we placed down at Beeson Park. The playground area, which is about 2,000 square feet in size, there just to the north, or up and to the right. Above that is the stream area, which runs about 60, 70 feet long. Kids can get in there, shallow water play. The potential to have some other ways to dam water up, do some things like that would be there just to give them other play opportunities. Just below that is a restroom, men's and women's restroom, and then an entry exit coming into the parking lot there off of Avenue L. Next. This is a different angle, kind of highlighting the parking lot area there, looking back to the southeast. This is looking back to the west, highlighting the playground area as well as the river stream area. That would be the easternmost play opportunity in this project. Next. This one's highlighting the splash pad again. You can kind of see the restroom there. Everything just kind of how it would go, and then the parking lot would be to the left there, just off screen. Same thing again, a little better view of the playground area. Splash pad. This would be more in-ground geysers that would be coming up. When you look at what we did at Beeson, we have some overhead, some rings and things like that that they can run through. This would all be ground geysers coming up out of the ground. We figured that with the stream would be enough water play for kids to be able to accomplish everything they want to and get them outside and continue wanting to go there. Next. Playground area. And then this is the restroom we were looking at. It does have men's and women's drinking fountains in the center. There should be 2 stalls in each one of those. I would think that would be adequate for the number of people we would potentially be having over there at any time. Next. And so once again, you know, our request amounts $1,338,420 to the CDBG, and then our match would be $659,818.39. We are looking at a couple proposed funding sources that include the water and sewer fund, using $101,150 out of there, as well as capital improvement having $558,668 to provide our match for this grant. And so if public would like to provide any feedback or input on this project, they can feel free to contact Colin at his information listed up there on the screen. Be happy to open up.
Questions from the City Commission? Well, at this time, we're in a public hearing. This is an opportunity to talk about the Throw Park proposed splash pad project. Would any member of the community care to step forward and visit about the project? Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing.
Thank you.
Daniel, thank you. The next one we will, next item on our agenda this evening is petitions and proclamations. There are none this evening. And so we will go to the next section on our agenda. It is the visitors section. It is a limit of 5 minutes per individual and 15 minutes per topic. Final action may be deferred until the next city commission meeting unless an emergency situation does exist. We have first person up on the visitor section here this evening is Caden Miller. Caden, if you'd like to step forward.
Does it just turn off the button?
Oh, it's on already.
Oh, it's on already? Okay. Good evening, City Commission. My name is Caden Miller, and I live and work here in Dodge City. I'm speaking on behalf of myself and many other residents that I've talked to here, and they have a lot of concerns with automatic license plate readers in town. These are AI-powered surveillance machines that capture every passing vehicle and person, and then that data is transmitted to a private cloud that's accessible by a variety of state and federal agencies all across the country. The private corporation that owns these products is Flock Safety. They own and control all that data. They can use it however they please. They harvest the data and then they sell it and then they make billions off of it. Every day I drive to work, my vehicle is logged into the system that's owned by the corporation, and that's the reality for most people that live here. Just on my way here, I drove by 2 of them. Our daily movements are being tracked by a $7.5 billion company that does not care about our safety like they claim they do. Flock partners directly with the software company Palantir, and Palantir has a $30 million contract with ICE, and ICE is the federal agency that has been terrorizing the U.S. for over a year now. That includes the murder of multiple American citizens, the kidnapping of innocent people, and planned attacks on cities with large immigrant populations. Peter Thiel, the founder of Palantir, is also one of Flock's primary investors. The CEO of Palantir, Alex Karp, he has openly said that he doesn't care about how many people die from their software, just as long as their money keeps rolling into their pockets. These may be separate companies, but they both have the same goals. They just want to control the world and then gain as much money as they can. They are partners in building a mass surveillance system it affects everyone in this room. And this isn't about being anti-police or anti-safety. It's about national security, protecting civil rights, and just keeping America like the way it was intended to, being free. This company is notorious for lying about public contracts, how much money they make, what their goals are, what they use the stuff for. They've been caught in their lies so many times, and people still want to believe that they're here to protect us. A few cases of these products is not good enough reason to justify a surveillance state. So tonight I'm asking the City Commission to look into Flock Safety and then take action against the unethical use of surveillance by canceling all contracts with Flock Safety, remove each camera that's been installed, and then publish all the information regarding the contracts and where the money came from to install them.
Hayden, thank you.
Yep.
Do we want to have any comment from the chief in regards to Flock cameras or?
If you guys have any questions,
Sounds good. Any questions from the commission for chief? Very good. Would anybody else like to come forward and speak during the visitors section? Seeing none, we will close the visitors section and move into the consent calendar. The consent calendar is stated in the agenda. Are there any requests to remove or motion to approve as presented?
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the consent calendar as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Final discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, please raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Next item on our agenda this evening is ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 3845, an ordinance designating Dodge City Days as a special event in the city of Dodge City. This report by Finance Director Nicole May.
Vice Mayor, Commissioners, tonight I'm asking for approval of ordinance number 3845. This ordinance is needed to designate Dodge City Days as a special event to allow the state to issue temporary permits to those businesses requesting to sell alcohol outside their normal business. Businesses that sell alcohol frequently request temporary alcohol permits in areas that include the street or public property outside their normal business. KSA 41-719 allows for a city to designate a festival or other similar community gathering, such as Dodge City Days, as a special event as a condition precedent to allowing the state of Kansas the discretion to issue temporary permits for the consumption of alcohol. The first step in allowing the state to issue a temporary permit is to pass an ordinance designating Dodge City Days as a special event. This is an ordinance that we pass each year that allows the numerous businesses within the city to request a temporary alcohol permit during Dodge City Days. So if there's any other questions, I would be happy to answer those.
Questions for Nicole on ordinance number 3845?
I'm going to make a motion that we adopt ordinance 3845.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We adopt ordinance number 3845. Final discussion. Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Thanks, Nicole. There is no unfinished business this evening, so we will move into new business. First item under new business is the approval of the agreement for Dodge City Water Tower 1 and number 2 rehabilitation from PEC Consultants, pending final approval of the city attorney. This report by city engineer Ray Slattery.
Vice Mayor and Commissioners, tonight I'm asking you to approve the agreement for the Dodge City Water Towers number 1 and 2 rehabilitation from PEC Consultants in the amount of $38,500 pending final review from the city attorney. The last inspection report we had done on these 2 water towers indicated that we need to make some repairs to them to keep the structures in their operable condition and maintain them from into the future. Tower 1, which is located at 1601 Sewell Street, needs to have the tank recoated or repainted as it is starting to have some rust spots on the exterior of the tank. Tower 2 has not been painted since it was constructed in the early 90s. With this project, 2 logo concepts will be included in the design. Staff will review these logo concepts and will determine which one to place on the tank during the repainting process. Also, the college has indicated that they would like to see the college logo incorporated into the new paint scheme on the tank. And then also new lighting will be figured in on the part of the tower rehab. The inspection report for Tower 1, located at 2030 Central Avenue, indicated that this tower will require more maintenance than just a coat of paint. There are several safety items that need to be improved to protect staff as they climb and access the tower and tank. There are also improvements that need to be made to the overflow piping to meet standard specifications. Tower 1 was constructed in the early 50s and has become an iconic local landmark. Tower 1 received a new roof in 2007 when the existing rivets and support structure of the roof began to fail. With the construction of the new roof, the tank and tower were painted and power washed and then painted. However, the lead on the paint on the exterior of the tower was not abated. It is suggested that the lead paint on the entire structure be abated prior to the structure being painted this time. As with Tower 2, 2 logo design concepts will be included in the design agreement. At this time, one thought is to place the high school mascot logo and verbiage back on the tower like was on it prior to 1988. Also, as with Tower 2, a new lighting scheme or package will be completed for Tower 1. With that, I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Questions from the commission for Mr. Slattery?
So what's PEC doing for us? What's the end result here?
They're putting together the design bid package.
Okay.
They'll put together the specifications for the paint. This is not just a standard paint and operation that you do for both of these towers. And then Tower 1, there's some mechanical and structural design that needs to be done, and so they'll be doing that also.
They'll put together the package and then we'll put out a request.
And then we'll put out bids for that, yes. And these will probably be bid separately. It is anticipated Tower 2 will move along quicker because it's just a repainting package. Tower 1 will take a little longer to get all the structural and safety aspects taken care of.
So will they oversee the project then, once that's
That is an option, is once we bid it, we could enter into an inspection agreement with them to do that. The inspection of the painting. There are some tests that need to be done that city staff does not have the capabilities of doing.
And that itself will be another
That
agreement?
would be another agreement, another contract, or a supplement to this, depending on how PEC and the commission wish to move forward.
Paige, do you have any input on their, or you can just use their template, or have we learned some lessons?
I've given some feedback, and then they've sent some red lines back that I have not had a chance to review yet. That's why this is approved pending city attorney review. But I have reviewed the initial contracts, and there were just some very minor things that we sent back.
Okay.
So I'm comfortable with the contracts.
Okay.
Is this kind of similar? We've done this before with them?
Correct.
Yeah.
You want to make a motion that we approve the contract with PEC Consultants in the amount of $38,500, pending final approval of the city attorney?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the agreement for Dodge City Water Towers 1 and 2 rehabilitation from PEC Consultants in the amount of $38,500, pending final approval of the city attorney. Final questions or discussion?
Ray, I'm going to be a stick in the mud. There are water towers, city water towers. They're not the high schools and they're not the community colleges, is my opinion. Everybody else may have their own thing. I think our city logos are what need to be on those water towers. That's just my thought process. So
What's the time frame on this? Right?
The Tower 2 painting will probably go out this year. The construction won't happen until next year. PEC's already had some discussions with, there's only a very few companies that paint water towers or does maintenance on water towers, and they're kind of booked up for the
probably
remainder of
booked
the
out
year.
this year.
Yeah. And so we'll bid it probably in the third quarter of this year, and then that'll be done soon as weather cooperates in '27, probably late spring.
Yeah.
And then we'd probably bid the Tower 1 project right after the first year, and that would be done later in the summer, so, of '27.
Will each tower be bid separately?
Yes.
Okay.
I might add, PEC will also be looking at some valving issues at all three of our towers that have been going on with this rehab project. So it's a little more than just the painting and the maintenance on Tower 1. They'll be looking at all three towers.
Final questions or comments before we vote on the motion on the table? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Second item on our agenda this evening under new business is the approval of agreement for Dodge City pressure zone modifications and water line improvements from PEC Consultants, pending final approval of the city attorney. This report by city engineer Ray Slattery.
Vice Mayor and Commissioners, tonight I'm asking you to approve the agreement for the Dodge City pressure zone modification and water line improvements from PEC in the amount of $727,900 pending final review of the city attorney. For several years now, staff has been exploring ways to provide additional water to the north pressure zone. Due to the residential growth in this area, additional supply is needed to meet this growing demand. Along with this, staff has also been looking at ways to provide a continuous supply of water to the industrial park, the town of Wright, Kansas, and several customers along that single line that runs from the airport to the town of Wright. The master plan that was completed last year outlined the placement of a second water line from near the intersection of Fairway Drive and US 52 Wright, Kansas. However, this connection is in the north pressure zone, and the existing connection is in the south zone. As part of that connection, modifications were going to be made to the boundary of the pressure zones so that they would both end up in the north zone along the eastern edge of the town. This will also bring wells number 30 and 31 into the north zone. Bringing these two wells into the north zone will help meet the growing demand from the residential growth in that area. PEC has completed some preliminary modeling to ensure the modification will achieve the goal of the project. However, additional modeling will be completed to determine the exact size and location for the modification of the pressure zone. The redundant line will also help with pressure issues experienced along that single line to Wright, Kansas, when there is a large draw on the system due to construction activities or a major fire. The secondary line will also help the coke nitrogen plant to have standby water if their main water supply would happen to fail, and this will provide them a safe way to shut down the facility. Also in the agreement, PEC will explore the possibility of using high nitrate water for industrial use. PEC will also evaluate and model our existing system and any extension for potential new use of water or water wells. And with that, I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
What's the time frame on this one?
I believe they would start approximately 30 days after notice to award, and the design for the line would take place after that, and we should be done, I think it was in like 6 months.
Okay. About a year.
12 months, sorry.
Is most of the water that Coke uses used for cooling?
Some of it is, and some of it's used in their processing.
Yeah.
Additional questions or comments for Ray? Ray, in regards to PEC on this one, were there any other alternative parties we could look at for this particular project, or
We did not reach out to anybody else. PEC has been our consultant for a number of years dealing with our water system and also wastewater system. They currently have our water model and have the ability to run that and, evaluate what we do when we do different draws on the system. In the past, we've asked them to, see what happens if a draw happens in this part of town or that part of town, and they've been able to do that, and they haven't billed us for any time on doing that.
Sure. And they're the party that we're involved with in regards to the South wastewater treatment
Correct.
facility, yeah. So I think in the event we were in a position in the future where we had to look at some competitors, what would be some competitors we could look at for future projects
yeah.
after you get this one
Yeah.
done?
There's several design consultants that would be able to do this for us. The access to the model would be the biggest thing, and we could probably work with PEC to get that from them.
Yeah. I just think we got to start maybe positioning ourselves in the event things don't work out well in the South wastewater treatment plant in the future to look for some alternative vendors to kind of keep things. I know they've been a long-term partner, but I think there's some real dollars on the table down south. So, other final questions or comments or a motion?
Your Honor, I make a motion to approve the agreement for the Dodge City Pressure Zone modification and water line improvements from PEC Consultants in the amount of $727,900, pending final approval from the city attorney.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, and we approve the agreement for the Dodge City Pressure Zone modifications and water line improvements from PEC Consultants in the amount of $727,900, pending approval from the city attorney. Final questions in discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray. Next item on the agenda this evening, item 4, is the approval to approve the quote for the Comanche Street sidewalk construction. This report by City Engineer Tanner Rutschman.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight I'm presenting the Comanche Street Sidewalk Construction Project from Avenue C to Avenue A. As you're aware, we're constructing an extension of the Gunsmoke Trail currently along Comanche, the north side of Comanche, out to Avenue K and Elbow Bend from First Avenue. That is a KDOT project, or TA project, that we are partnering with KDOT on to construct and pay for. Through the design process, we had to select a path that was wide enough in the right-of-way to construct a 10-foot trail. So as part of the grant, they will only pay for contributing trails, and that contributing means a 10-foot wide trail. So this segment here, from Avenue C to Avenue A, would be a bypass for the trail system, because the trail currently from Avenue C to Avenue A routes up through Gene Russell Park. So it veers north into the park, away from Comanche, and then back down to Comanche at Avenue A. Staff believes that there will still be individuals that select the most direct path, that aren't really on there to walk the trail, that are just using it to get from one part of town to the other. So to avoid or improve safety of those individuals taking that most direct path from Avenue C to Avenue A, we decided to look into designing a short segment of sidewalk along Comanche Street that would actually be able to fit in the right-of-way. But it would not be eligible for KDOT funding, so we worked with Building Solutions to provide a quote to complete this sidewalk construction, not as part of the trail project, but as addition to the trail project, since KDOT wouldn't fund it. So we requested a quote from them, and we received it back. The quote was for $105,223. We had estimated this segment of sidewalk to be $99,905. This goes along with, or supports our internal goal of providing at least a sidewalk on one side of every minor and major arterial street in town. And we do believe that it'd be beneficial to have sidewalk along this section of Comanche. So it's staff's recommendation to approve the quote from Building Solutions to construct this sidewalk section. And it would be funded from special streets. We have sidewalk funds available in special streets, as well as some other money that was initially budgeted for like pavement markings and traffic signals that we don't anticipate having to use this year. So there is funding still available in the special streets fund to cover this cost. I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
Tanner, look at me. Do you have that picture of that plans in front of you?
I do not, but I know what the plans look like.
The top photo, tell me where that's at. There's 3 photos. I see Country Club Drive at the bottom.
It's on the very west side, where they close the street off.
Yes, the top photo is at Avenue A. So the top is so you'll go from going left to right, you're going from west to east.
Okay, but there's pavement there that looks like it goes off kilter. Is that La Mesa?
What, is it a certain color?
No, it's all gray. It's this top section here. Is that pavement? Is that road?
No, that's connecting into the trail. The trail is just the outline there. The new trail.
That's what I'm looking at.
Picture you looking at.
Go to the next page.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess what I'm asking, Tanner, this is kind of what the people that didn't want the trail to go through the country club area wanted to begin with, sort of. I understand you don't get the KDOT funding,
Yes.
but this is what they wanted. So now we're really doing what they wanted plus what we wanted.
This is also something that we've been directed to do, I feel like broadly by the commission. By the commission in the past, is taking a project, 95% of the way.
Yeah.
And knowing there's a piece out there that we
Push that
didn't
button.
take care of. So we want to get 100% there
Yeah.
right off the get-go.
I know, I
Yes.
just feel like I'm gonna have some calls that said, this is kind of what we wanted you to do to begin with and not take it through the park and bring it back out and close the street, keep the street open.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if we didn't go through the park, we wouldn't have a segment of trail, so there'd be like a gap in our trail system. So you have to think about it that way, too.
Yeah, I understand that part of it. It's just that I'm gonna have to explain it to people that live up there that have already talked to me several times. I said, it's
So then-
important that we get the trail through there.
So then no easement acquisitions, it's
Right,
already in our
it's all
easement.
within existing road right-of-way.
And then what about this driveway? I don't know what the address would be that's marked in red.
It will be less steep than it currently is. It will be improved from its current state. Talking about the one in red that you see?
Yeah.
Yes.
That one's a,
Additional questions or comments from the commission? Walk us through the handrail element of this.
So ADA compliance, any wall that is 30 inches or greater, so that you could fall over 30 inches, for public safety, you have to have a handrail. And since that wall is in road right-of-way, for safety purposes, for compliance, we had to construct the handrail. We had to at least include it. Yeah, ideally, we don't want a handrail, but if you've driven by there, you'll see how steep that is, right there next to that house.
yeah,
It is very steep.
drops off pretty fast.
Yeah, both sides are steep, doesn't get much maintenance. What about power utilities? Much of that going to need to be
No,
relocated?
we have
or some-
one telecom box that just has to get adjusted, just to the pavement elevation. So nothing has to get moved. We just have a box that has to get adjusted down.
Final questions or comments from the city commission?
Where would you pull the funds from if you had a stoplight go down again or something like that you had to
I think
unexpectedly
Corey
replace?
has emergency funds for
enough?
traffic signals still, and we wouldn't pull it all. We still have some funds available.
You want to make a motion to approve the quote from Building Solutions LLC to construct the sidewalk?
In the amount of
Oh, sorry.
$105,223.
$223, yep.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the quote from Comanche Street sidewalk construction from Building Solutions in the amount of $105,223. Final questions? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. That motion carries 3-0. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the approval to approve the proposal to install and integrate the RNG analyzer cabinet at the Warrior Biogas Facility. This report by City Engineer Tanner Rutschman.
Good evening, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight, I'm presenting the installation proposal for the new RNG analyzer cabinet. If you recall, towards the end of 2024, we were notified that Northern Natural Gas, who is our pipeline interconnect where we inject and sell our RNG, they came out with some new updated biomethane guidelines, and as part of that, all of their RNG facilities that were connected to their system had to install all the analyzers that they have at their interconnect facilities, and they could no longer rely on the interconnect facility to provide that data. We had to have it ourselves and run all the analysis ourselves. So last September, we brought a proposal before you for approval to purchase the analyzer equipment and cabinet to make us compliant with those new guidelines. That equipment is scheduled to be delivered this month, and so we had PEC finalize the plans for this new analyzer cabinet, and UCI provided a proposal to install and connect the cabinet, and that is what we're presenting here tonight. That equipment that we purchased was $324,000. Current proposal from UCI is $98,256.18, which includes proposals from Shelley Electric and Pedrati to provide the power and Ethernet and upgrades to the existing SCADA system, so that we'll be able to analyze our finished product RNG and have that data and results available for Northern Natural Gas if they request it. I will add that since I submitted this, we have changed. We will not add this to their existing construction manager agreement. This will be a standalone project with them, separate from the wastewater plant project. So this would just be a new agreement with UCI in this proposal to complete the construction. But I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you might have.
Questions for Tanner?
What do they do? I mean, are they just going to provide equipment? Because Pedrati and Shelley are doing the bulk of the labor,
Yeah,
right?
so, yeah, you, like I mentioned in here, you have the concrete footing, so they got to install that,
Okay.
and then they have to get all the heavy equipment to unload. This comes in a bit, the cabinet is basically it's basically like a 6 by 10 foot. So it's all in one package that they have to have a crane on site to lift it off the truck and set it, and then plumb it all together and install the equipment inside. Most of the equipment is installed, but not all the plumbing is installed. So there is work there left for the install besides the SCADA and in Ethernet and electrical.
And then the fund is biogas,
Then what?
the biogas fund.
Yes,
that will
yes.
pay for it.
Yep. But yes, this will bring us compliant with Northern Natural Gas's new guidelines, which thankfully they have not been pressing on us to get this installed, which has been good. So we haven't had to rush this through.
Completion is,
Well, it'll be done within a month, and Cherokee will have a supervisor come to site and do the startup and commissioning on it, and also give our guys some training on the new equipment. So.
additional questions from the commission? I'd make a motion to approve the proposal from UCI to install and integrate the RNG analyzer cabinet at the Warrior Biogas facility in the amount of $98,256.18.
One second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the proposal from UCI to install and integrate the RNG analyzer cabinet at the biogas facility in the amount of $98,256.18. Final questions or discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Thanks, Tanner. Next item on the agenda is the approval of the development agreement with Western Kansas Motor Sports Museum. This report by Finance Director Nicole May.
Vice Mayor, Commissioners, tonight I'm asking for a approval of the development agreement with the Western Kansas Motorsports Museum. As part of the expanded Heritage District Star Bond Project Plan approved on June 25th, 2026, the Western Kansas Motorsports Museum is included as one of the projects to receive funding from the Star Bond proceeds. The actual funding of the project is contingent upon successful issuance of those STAR bonds. The Western Kansas Motorsports Museum is the owner of the property located at 520 West Trail Street, and this property was purchased with private donations. The city will not be responsible for funding any part of this project with city funds. The project has been included in the STAR bond project plan. Depending on final STAR bond amounts, that are able to be issued, the funding may be available in a phased approach. Phase 1 being $2,250,000 and Phase 2 being $750,000. The museum will be responsible for securing private donations of $1,250,000 to help in completing the project. Also here tonight with me is Joanne Knight, so she's worked on this project from the Motorsports Museum side, so I would invite her to kind of explain the potential of the phasing and.
Good evening.
Thank you, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. Yes, so the nonprofit organization, they are a 501c3. Currently, they have raised $800,000 in pledges, of which $500,000 they spent to purchase the building. So they do have a campaign moving forward now to raise the rest of the remaining funds for the interior exhibit, and then we'll also be going out for requests for proposals for the exterior and interior renovations of the property. And that's what we have estimated at the $3 million. A lot of that's going to depend on how those bids come in. And so the phased in part of it is once we get those bids in, we have exterior concepts that are a lot more expensive than some others. And so we'll look at finishing that exterior look out. But we do want to have an operational museum ready to go by the tourism season in '28. And so that's why we've looked at phasing this in, just so once we get those bids in, we know where we're at.
Questions for Nicole and Joanne? It was referenced in the memo, potentially covering, was it external and internal interior improvements? Kind of walk us through the eligibility. I thought we were only external improvements were eligible.
My understanding is that the reconstruction of the facility would be eligible for the STAR bonds, but we're not the exhibits. Okay. And so once that was determined to include it in the STAR bonds, we needed to make sure that this was not a stagnant museum and that it needed to be a destination museum and an interactive museum. And so that increased the cost of the exhibit preparation beyond what the group was originally looking at. And so they have a lot of the collector cars and stuff, but a little over half of the 12,000 square foot will be used for interactive exhibits similar to what the Boot Hill Museum edition is. And that was kind of the change in making it qualify for STAR bonds. And we've received estimates from 1.8 million up to 3.5 million. So in between, there's a happy medium, we're sure, in between there. So.
Additional questions or a motion from the commission?
Your Honor, make a motion that we approve the development agreement with Western Kansas Motorsports Museum.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the development agreement with the Western Kansas Motorsports Museum. Final questions or discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you all. Final item on our agenda this evening under new business is the approval of the tolling agreement with Professional Engineering Consultants. This report by City Attorney Paige Gilmore.
Thank you, Vice Mayor and Commissioners. As you know, the city entered into a design agreement with PEC regarding expansion of the city's south wastewater treatment facility. And then on July 31st, 2024, a failure occurred at that facility. There's been ongoing conversations since that day about which party bears the responsibility for damages caused by that failure. The city and PEC do have a long-standing good relationship together and hope to come to an agreement with respect to this issue in the near future. As the parties work toward a resolution, we're both abiding by our agreement, which requires a meeting and conferring process, and then if that fails to reach resolution, then proceeds to mediation. PEC has requested a 60-day, I guess, they've requested that meeting be scheduled in approximately 60 days to allow for time for them to review documentation that's been provided regarding this issue. Outside counsel that represents the city has prepared the agreement in front of the commission tonight and recommends its approval. The outside counsel did want me to make the commission aware that this agreement is just out of an abundance of caution, that we don't believe there are any applicable statute of limitations that could affect our rights regarding this matter, but it is just out of an abundance of caution that they advise that we enter into this agreement. PEC has also reviewed it and would approve the version in front of the commission tonight. There's no financial considerations for this at this time. And like I said, outside counsel representing us does recommend that we enter into this agreement. With that, I would be happy to try to answer any questions you may have.
Questions for Paige pertaining to the tolling agreement with PEC Consultants? Seeing no questions, I would make the motion to approve the tolling agreement with Professional Engineering Consultants. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded. We approve the tolling agreement with Professional Engineering Consultants. Final opportunity for questions or discussion? Seeing none, we'll proceed to vote. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0. Thank you, Paige. At this time, we will go to other business. Seeing no other business before the commission, staff reports. Nick?
Nothing to report.
I have nothing. Nothing for me.
Bonnie? Melissa? Very well. Anything from the commission this evening? Seeing none, do we have a motion for an adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. We adjourn the city commission meeting. All those in favor, raise your right hand. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries 3-0.